In our third part of this discussion, we're going to talk about what do we do with trash, and we're going to start with the United States. All right, if you look at what's been going on in the last 30 years, yes, you can see we generate more trash, but you can see that we're recycling and much more of that trash and disposing less of percentage of that trash into landfills. This leads us to our fifth trivia question. By what percent has the pounds per person per day in the United States increased in the last 30 years? No calculators, all right? Just eyeball this. By what percent has the amount of trash generation increased? Do you have your answer? All right, the answer is 21%. Now, when you look at that and compare it to the recycling rate, this is great news. We've made more progress in recycling than we have the generation of trash. And we made significant progress in the amount that is disposed to a landfill. So this is all good news. However, let's delve a little bit deeper and take a look at some more of these numbers. In 1980, we disposed of 134 million tons of trash into landfill. And then 30 years later, about the same, 135 million. So again, this is lifting my spirits. I don't know about you, but this gives me hope for us Americans. Now let's look at how much trash we generate, okay? In 1980, only 151 million tons of trash. 30 years later, this number is increased by 65%. So even though about the same amount is going in landfills, we found some other solutions. We are recycling some of it, and we are incinerating or combusting some of it, but those have their own issues. We're still expending quite a bit of energy and creating quite a bit of pollution, air pollution, water pollution, through these two processes. And what's significant as well in this story is the fact that the population in the United States during that same time period has only increased by 35%. So every single American is generating a tremendous amount more of trash over the past 30 years. In India, the system of door-to-door trash removal is virtually non-existent. Instead, there are employees who are trash sweepers, okay? And so the street sweepers will pick up and remove the trash. Now, depending on the size of their designated area, they may or may not get to that section every day. So there's a very visual difference in the way trash is handled in India. In addition to the street sweepers, there are informally, right, there are individuals who are called rag pickers. Now, this is a very hard way of life, not ideal by any means, and this is a result of poverty. Rag pickers are individuals who will go through the trash and remove any object that has any value, any resale value, or that can be recycled. Think about, tin cans or any kind of scrap metal or glass or newspapers or old clothing. All right, again, not an ideal way to make a living, and potentially very dangerous way of life. In the end, however, it is also better than what Americans do because less trash makes it into the landfill. All right, anything that can be taken out and reused is. And so in that way, it's a more sustainable practice, though not ideal. In the Indian landfills, unfortunately, 94% of the trash is disposed of improperly. Now, by not improperly, I mean it's either incinerated without any air pollution controls or put into a landfill that is not a modern landfill, a sanitary landfill that prevents ground pollution. We see much of the same story in Senegal, okay? Because of the poverty, there are many people who will pick out and scavenge anything of value in the trash. This is, unfortunately, it's a very tough way, again, to make a living, but it is become a way of life for many of the folks in Senegal. Some people will actually have a house in a landfill or a trash dump area, and from generation to generation, this becomes their way of squeaking out a living. Again, not very ideal situation at all. In Costa Rica, again, they are known for being very biodiverse, right? Ecologically sound and environmentally friendly. So let's take a quick look. This leads us to our next trash trivia question. Question number 6. In 2004, what percentage of solid waste in Costa Rica was discarded into sanitary landfills? Okay, sanitary meaning lined, modern, no pollution of groundwater. Take a quick guess. And the answer is 15%. Okay, so unfortunately, whereas Costa Rica has blossomed with this ecotourism and they've become known as this very green and sustainable country, their waste management system is not kept up with the level of ecotourism, and the majority of their trash is in open dumps or even dumped into the rivers.